Hello again. So today we're talking about divergent boundaries, and hopefully you've already seen the convergent boundary video. But a divergent boundary is an area where two crusts are moving away from each other or dividing. All right? So there's basically two situations where that can happen. The first situation is where we have oceanic crust and oceanic crust. So I'm going to label this OC for oceanic crust on both sides. And we said divergent, they were pulling away from each other. So we want our arrows to be going in opposite direction. Okay? So as they pull away from each other, there's an area that's really thin here in the middle. So we have a little bit of ocean crust left. But as it thins out, it's going to allow magma to come up from below. So there's our magma rising to the surface. So if I take my handy dandy silly putty here and pretend that it's oceanic crust, as it pulls apart, you can see that it doesn't want to cooperate. You can see that it gets really thin, and if you look at the areas by my fingers, you can see light through it, and eventually the middle will get a hole in it. And wherever it opens up like that, that's where we're going to get magma being able to come up through the crust. Okay? So as it's spreading apart at the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of the seafloor, our process is called seafloor spreading. Good. That's the process. That's the name of that movement. So we've got seafloor spreading pulling that way and seafloor spreading pulling in that direction. It's going to create a landform above it. Remember, the landform is what I'm going to be able to see on the surface because I can't see what's going on underneath. The landform above it is going to be in the middle of the ocean. It's going to form a trench. Nope, sorry. It's going to form a ridge, like a mountain range. And we're going to call this the mid-ocean ridge. Because the magma is going to come up, build up, and create that mid-ocean ridge, that mountain range that we see through all the oceans. And we can see here on our map, we can see all of the mid-ocean ridges located through every single ocean in the world. And those are all divergent ocean-ocean boundaries. Okay? So seafloor spreading is the process. Mid-ocean ridge is our landform. And our boundary type is a divergent boundary. Now the other type we can have is continental crust and continental crust. All right? So continental, divergent, so they're moving away from each other. That makes this very thin area here as well. We end up with magma coming to the surface. So the magma is making its way up to the surface. And as it does that, it's going to create new continental crust. In the ocean version, where the mid-ocean ridge is, we're creating new oceanic crust. In this process, we're spreading. It's like seafloor spreading on the land. So there's no seafloor, so we're just going to call it spreading. Get a nice color here. So we're spreading on both sides. All right. And the landform we're going to see on the surface, it's going to kind of be like a mountain range on each side with a valley in the middle. Do you remember? Yep. We're going to call it a rift valley. Because we are rifting it apart. We're tearing it apart. It's being divided into two pieces. So, oceanic crust, seafloor spreading out of mid-ocean ridge, creating new ocean crust. Continental boundary, divergent. We're going to have spreading, and our landform is going to be a rift valley. So I hope that helps you in your understanding of divergent boundaries.